My hands were made to serve the king, not rot in idleness. This emptiness. I cannot bear it. I threw myself into nothing, and nothing is what I became. Nothing without my king. Nothing without my blade. No. Don't speak that name. It's a traitor's name, hateful and vile. Let it be cursed. Let it be forgotten. I died a traitor's death, trampled and torn apart. Fitting. So very fitting. I thought that would be enough. But I failed him in life. How could one measly death be my absolution? I couldn't. I can't. I clawed my way out of the abyss, but came back empty-handed. Arthur? No, please. He cannot see me like this. He mustn't be made to look at me. My blade. My erendite remain behind. The abyss. Deep in the weirdness. I cannot face my king without it. My sword belongs to him, as do I. But without it I am nothing. I cannot kneel before him and offer him nothing. My name should have died with me. Why does it still linger? Erendite. Oh, how I long to hold it again. Just the weight of it in my hand makes me feel almost whole again. Like I might be worthy. Like maybe not everything was lost. I know I am. Even the dead can serve. Better than the living sometimes. I have nothing to fear, and nothing to lose. The only burden I carry is regret. The only thing I seek is absolution. No. I know. I feel that he's with you. But there's nothing I could say to him. I won't beg forgiveness for my betrayal. I don't even know what I feel more. His mercy or his scorn. Please, as his closest confidant, take my blade. And I beg you, let me serve you and Arthur on your journey. Let me prove my devotion, my remorse, not with words, but with deeds. Let me earn his trust again. This is all I ask.
Lancelot. It was painful to watch what became of him. Confident, steadfast, eloquent. Nothing like the tormented soul you've seen. He was admired by the people and by his fellow knights. He had quite the following, though he never seemed to care for it. Only later did I realize how wrong I had been. He was also much sought after. Left a trail of broken hearts wherever he went. But there was only one he ever held in his heart. And that was Avalon. I always believed Lancelot to be honest to a fault. He never hesitated to speak his mind, and I valued that in him as much as his loyalty. I trusted him completely, and I thought his faith in me, in my vision for Avalon, was just as strong. But it wasn't. I don't know when or how that trust was lost, and to this day, it still pains me. But know this, even in betrayal, Lancelot never sought to serve himself. He was a good man. Yet even the best of men can falter and lose their way. I forgave him long ago. What saddens me is that he still cannot forgive himself. But I understand why. The rebellion he led hurt not only me, it wounded all of Avalon. And Lancelot always hated senseless bloodshed. To be the cause of so much suffering, perhaps fighting by our side will finally bring him peace.
You can't just allow for things like that to happen. Not ever again. Not when the kingdom is beginning to find its way. You're the king, and that comes with a whole lot more responsibility. You can't let people like Merlin do what they want, even if their intentions are pure. You must see the danger now!
The memory of Seawall is my burden. Harder to bear than I'd like to admit. But I've realized that his story is what happens when power answers to no one.
Then do something so that a tragedy like that never happens again!
Palamedes, you've always spoken your mind, even when I didn't want to hear it. You've stood beside me through the darkest days and fought not for glory, but for Avalon and its people.
I have done only what I believe was right, nothing more.
Yes, and that made me realize that Merlin was wrong. The legacy I leave won't endure through the legend of a single man, whether it's me or anyone else. I decided to give my sword to the Horns of the South, to bind them not to me, but to the people. But Avalon needs more than that. It needs structures, memory, and resistance to corruption. It needs the foundation of something greater than any one of us.
A shield?
Yes, one to guard Avalon, even from itself. You've proven yourself time and again, so my shield is yours, Palamedes. Not just to wield, but to become. Let your bloodline anchor what my reign could not.
And you believe I am worthy of such a responsibility? I will not fail you, my king.
Don't carry this burden for me, Palamedes. You never have. Carry it for Avalon, and may your name be a blessing upon this land for generations to come. Now I understand. The shield isn't an object. It's the bloodline itself. But I also remember the shield was meant to resist. Not enemies, not blades, but corruption, compromise, cowardice. Palamedes understood that. Nothing I've seen here reminds me of him. Nothing resembles the kingdom we were trying to build. Lord Yvain, a joke of a man. A mere shadow of his ancestor. Not worthy of his title, nor of leading his people. I tried to build something lasting. Something that wouldn't depend on me to survive. I distributed power, tied it to oaths, not blood. Gave regions autonomy, left behind symbols to bind them. But what we've seen so far, That's not a kingdom. That's theater. People playing at being lords and commanders, taking on roles they don't even understand. I named his bloodline the Shield of Kurnacht, and granted them dominion over this Menhir, with full autonomy. The land here is among the richest in Avalon. This place was meant to stand as a counterweight to Camelot's rising power.
Ah, a visitor. It has been a while since we've had one, hasn't it, my dear Gawain? Will I need to carry the bones of my only companion to his resting place today? Or could it be that this is the day when our souls are finally laid to rest? Apologies, Wanderer. For a very long time, the good Sir Gawain has been my only company in this place. As much as he was once known for his sharp wit, time and decay have taken his voice from him. I've grown used to our conversations being one-sided. I hope you'll forgive me if I slip into old habits. I am Sir Bertilac, Wanderer. I keep watch over the cursed, restless sleep of dearest Sir Gawain. He is dear to me now, but long, long ago, I thought little of him. An honorless, arrogant whelp he seemed to me. But when I struck him down and saw him look up at me in quiet wonder as he drew his last breath, I understood then that we were the same. Both tools in the hands of those with power, afterthoughts in the games they played. The endless, hateful dance of a pair of siblings so alike, they were a mirror of each other. The Lady Morgaine had me believe I was meant to cut short the reckless, unruly ways of her brother's knights, to prove he let them act without honor. She said she only wished to be heard. But as I sat here, forgotten, I came to understand. She wanted Arthur to hurt, as she had been made to hurt. With cunning, with expedience, he was given a choice: die with honor, or live without it. But is a choice truly a choice if its only purpose is deception? Gawain chose life, yet I struck him down. And in the end, he got neither life nor death, only suffering. And me, the only one left to remember. Challenge me, Wanderer. End my lonely vigil. And after I fall, take up my axe. Give my dear Gawain one last duel, and one final death. If you are the one the Lady Morgaine truly meant to punish, then at last we may find our rest. Now, will you fight? So be it. May the one who falls find peace.
I'd rather not speak of him, but I suppose I owe him that much. Morgaine and I, we shared only half our blood, yet both inherited the worst of our father's traits. Pride, arrogance, stubbornness. I was angry at her for humiliating me yet again, and angry at Gawain for falling so easily into her trap. He was never the perfect knight, nor did he try to be. But he was brave and bold, and he didn't deserve to become a pawn in our quarrel. I should have taken more of an interest in his fate, but there was always something more pressing, until I ran out of time. Although, if you think about it, we did end up sharing similar fates. A truly fascinating man. He started out as a court jester, but it quickly became clear he was quite skilled with a blade as well. At first, I suspected he might be a spy for an enemy kingdom, but after he saved my life one day, my perspective changed. Of course, he still could have been a spy, but I decided to keep him close and watch him carefully, just in case. In time, though, he proved to be a loyal companion. He earned my trust, and without hesitation, I knighted him. Well, it didn't surprise me much. That was Dagonet through and through. He always spoke his mind, caring little for what others might think, even when it was my judgment he questioned. Only he and Palamedes ever dared to speak their minds openly in my presence, without fear of giving offense. Dagonet was decidedly less diplomatic than Palamedes, but it was precisely that honesty I valued in them both. Besides, from the start, he had a rare gift for foreseeing how things would unfold. I dare say, he even managed to make me laugh one last time.
First, you used these people to win yourself a kingdom, and now you herded them here under threat of being stomped to death by giants if they leave or disobey. After all that they've gone through, all that they've done, all that they've suffered, this is how you intend to repay them?
No kingdom will stand with people like them within its borders. They would have to change their ways. The Del Rita are not ready for this. You know this.
You did worse than all of them combined, and you are the one responsible for all they've done so far. They fought for your name and under your banners. Does this mean you're not fit to be a king? Not ready to have a kingdom?
I left the heritage of Pendragon behind me. I severed the ties between myself and my tribe. I lost all that tied me to the past when I became king. I set a new path for myself. They are not ready to do that.
Bullshit! You forced them to go against their sacred traditions. You destroyed their identities. They betrayed their comrades because you ordered them to. They kidnapped the children of the giants because you told them to do it. Everything they did was so that you could win this war. And now what? You're going to punish them for being your best, fiercest soldiers, most loyal of your men?
This is not...
Oh, stop with your excuses already. You broke them, and now you're abandoning them to starve or freeze to death in these damned lands.
This kingdom needs to be built on peace, Caradoc. Letting them live among merchants, lords, and ladies in Camelot or Timberwall. How would that go?
Exactly as anyone would expect it to go.
So we would end up with a civil war. Right after we won the war that almost annihilated us all.
Oh, damn you. I've had enough. I stood by you through everything. Even what you did to me. To Seawall. I let it all slide. I told myself it was for something. For a noble cause. But this is where I draw the line. I renounce my oaths, and I'm walking away. Put a blade in my back if that helps you sleep. I don't care. Not anymore.
Caradoc had the clearest eyes of any of us. He saw things for what they were. And I think I destroyed that. Destroyed him with all I did. I turned him into this. And now he's only a shadow of the man I once knew. He used to carry hope. Now all he carries is vengeance.
After everything I did for you, you won't even let me rest in peace. I'm not talking. I'm speaking to the one hiding inside you, like a cow.
Let me speak to him, young one. Galahad, my friend. We come to you in our hour of need.
It wasn't enough to tamper with immortality on your own. You had to drag us into it too. Do you know, it was only after I died that I understood what you'd done. Becoming a Four-Dweller, Arthur. Really?
I've always valued your counsel, Galahad. But we were losing the war, and you were no longer at my side. I had no choice but to try becoming as powerful as they were.
Nonsense. There's always a choice, and you have made the worst one. How could you fraternize with the enemy? Go against everything we fought for? You're right. I wasn't there. If I had been, I'd have beaten you to death with my bare fists before letting you follow the advice of that old charlatan.
It was my choice, not Merlin's.
Keep telling yourself that. I know the truth. I always knew the old man was a manipulator. And you had too much on your shoulders to see what he was really doing.
I respect your opinion, Galahad. I only regret that we meet under these circumstances.
As do I. So, what now? You're taking my remains for a little trip. And I'm supposed to serve you again? Not that you're giving me a choice. If you take me from this place, my essence will be bound to your will. I never really had a choice, did I? The war, your transformation. It would have happened with or without me.
Probably, yes. But now, at least we can see it through to the end.
Do what you want. It's not like I have a choice. This will be the last time you hear me fully aware.
Then, is there anything you want to say to me, Galahad?
Just one thing. May the weirdness take you, traitor.
I should have known he wouldn't be too happy about being brought back. But I hoped he'd died in peace, and would return in peace. I was wrong. War isn't a time when you can afford likes and dislikes. Galahad was a great warrior. He made decisions no other commander dared to. But would he have been a good leader in times of peace? I doubt it. That's why news of his death in battle came as a relief to me. Men like him, once they gain momentum, are nearly impossible to stop. In that regard, he and Galahad the Pure were quite alike. He led a dangerous expedition, one of the most important of the Age of Conquest. Had it succeeded, the war might have ended much sooner, but it didn't. And so the fighting went on. After the war, I had his remains recovered and this tomb built. Over time, he came to be seen as a noble martyr. But who he really was, well, you've seen that for yourself. I regret the fate he met. Let's make sure his sacrifice wasn't in vain.
I can hear you. Who goes there? It's shiny, sure, but you clearly have no idea what you're doing. Waving a round table pin in front of a knight of the round table? Not the smartest move. Normally, I'd throw you out for your arrogance and stupidity. But you're lucky. I've got a soft spot for boldness. And that pin has me curious. Where'd you get it? You mean you found Caradoc's tomb and robbed it? Interesting. And when exactly did this happen? Where did you last see him? I see. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. So what do you want then? The one on the left was questioning my orders. For some reason, he thought his opinions were more important than obedience in the middle of a war. They aren't. The one on the right decided Camelot wasn't paying enough, so he thought that was a good enough excuse to help himself to his comrades' pockets. It wasn't. Ask them. We're going to fight the Dalrita. We're driving that rabble out of the All-Mother's temple. And when we head home, we'll put their heads on pikes at the gates of the Forlorn Swords. That way the rest of those barbarians will know Camelot is still watching over them, even if we have to protect them from themselves. Oh, so you don't know? One Eye's a traitor. He's fooled the younger tribesmen with grand promises of uniting the tribes and marching north. The Council of Elders is still loyal to us. They want no part in a war. He's just a bandit, abandoned by his own people. When his village fell, no one came to help. And One Eye, like the rat he is, ran. I'm just here to finish what I started. And when the Elders see us take down One Eye, we won't need to worry about those savages for another 600 years. The war's already here. It's been going on for a while. We're fighting each other in the west, and people are whispering about rebellion in the north. The last thing we need is united tribes. At the beginning, yes. But they're primitive. They don't respect order. They never will. Arthur gave them the Forlorn Swords, a rich land where they could govern themselves. They were supposed to watch the giants deliver iron and chase after their cousins through the tunnels, or whatever it is that tickles their fancy. But no, that wasn't enough for them. I've always thought Avalon would be better without them. Arthur probably gathered them all in one place, hoping they'd kill each other. But that didn't work, so we'll have to do this the hard way. I know what people say about me. They think I'm a madman who burns everything, a butcher who hangs the innocent. I've heard it all. But I believe that only decisive action gets results. There's no room for mercy when it comes to insubordination, deserters, or heretics. It's the only way to prevent the fall of Avalon. That's exactly why we need Camelot and the Horns of the South to be strong and united. You do know that the lighthouse of the Horns of the South works like a giant menhir, right? It's why we've ordered them to build another one to strengthen its power. As for how the Dalrita feel about the weirdness, I don't care. I'm here to protect our people, and those tribes are in the way. That was the plan. It's my job to keep those lazy fish-eaters in check. Camelotian gold flows to them, and I need to make sure they're doing something with it. But the Dalrita showing up. That made things more interesting. Their presence will bring down the South, and I don't let things fall apart on my watch. Denunciation, like loyalty, can be valuable. The key is knowing who deserves loyalty and who needs to be reported. I appreciate you telling me, but unfortunately, you haven't told me anything I didn't already suspect. Marvelous.
Much the same. He was a fierce warrior, determined to win at any cost. I watched him closely, and I found him too consumed by cruelty. That is why I chose Seawall and Palamedes as my closest confidants, not him. Yet this Galahad still seems devoted to Camelot and the old ways, and he remains just as fierce.
What happened? My oath. My purpose. It's gone. Forgive me. It wasn't by my own will. It was the All-Mother's will that I am carrying out. No! Not anymore! I serve the Round Table. In my heart, I always have. But my body was a prisoner of the All-Mother. Or rather, the one I believed to be the All-Mother. A knight of the Round Table. I proudly bore the name Perceval in honor of my predecessors who served King Arthur. Like the first Perceval, I set out in search of the Holy Grail. My path led me here. to the very temple where my father once wanted to send me for priestly studies. I never felt a calling then. But this time, I heard something calling me. I thought it was the Grail, but it was her, whose sword-wielding hand I was to become. False goddess. An abomination, pretending to be the All-Mother, corrupting priestesses' minds. A Four-Dweller. One of those four-armed creatures King Arthur fought when he first arrived on Avalon. The kind I'd only read about in old texts. I did. I challenged her to a fight for claiming to be a goddess. For poisoning the minds of the innocent. She said she would prove that she was the only goddess here. She forced her way into my mind, and made me vow that if I lost, I would become her paladin and serve my only true All-Mother forever. I was vanquished. I knelt powerless before the false All-Mother as she pierced me with a blade. I was to carry it within me always as a sign of whose power I am now under. Be careful. If you face her, fight fiercer and strike harder than I did. Above all, don't let her into your mind, or she will turn your own body against you. I spent countless years trapped in the prison of my own body. Bound to her service, where I found the truth. The only truth worth knowing. I was blessed with her presence. I warmed myself in her radiance. Why did you take it from me? Why? I'm sorry. The oath I swore to the false All-Mother. I can still feel its binding. Even my death did not entirely free me from it. I pray it is so. Otherwise, I am nothing but a damned soul. Bound to this place for eternity. Now, having regained my former self, the torment will be all the greater. Is it punishment for surrendering my mind to a false deity? You could ask the All-Mother to forgive me. Beg her to grant me the honor of being in her presence once more. No. Kill her. Kill the false goddess. Please. I trust in you. Do not let the false All-Mother infect your mind.